What do you think the attraction is of those types of those types of shows versus, say, like a CSI or something like that, where it doesn't really take you week to week?
Well, I think a CSI or Law and Order. I mean, you've got great actors playing great characters. Sam Waterston on Law and Order is one of my personal and professional heroes, but he's not necessarily the star. I think the case that they're trying is the star, and that's why each episode can kind of exist unto itself, and you don't need to see them in any particular order. You can watch, an episode from season 1, episode from season 5 back to back, and they don't cancel each other out. Whereas Prison Break, if you miss a couple episodes, you're lost. You really need to start from the beginning. And I think the rewards of being along on that journey, of tuning in every single week, investing in the story, investing in the characters, are that much richer and more satisfying because you've been with them since the very beginning.
How has being on the show changed your perception of the American criminal justice system?
Well, I think I do appreciate in a way I didn't before that the line between us and them is much thinner and less distinct than we'd like to believe. Because I remember driving home from season 1 in Chicago on my way back to Los Angeles, seeing road signs on a certain stretch of highway that said, under construction. If you hit a highway worker, it's like a $14,000 fine and 10 years in prison. So if you sneeze at the wrong time, the worst case scenario might occur, and you could find yourself behind bars, sharing a cell with a tea bag or an abruzzi. There are 1,000 shades of gray behind bars, 1,000 shades of guilt and innocence. And to dismiss everyone behind bars as being, deserving of whatever punishment has been meted out, I think is far too quick, far too easy, far too facile a judgment to make. You can't.
Interesting. What's your take on the relative merits of acting on TV versus movies? And are you still keen to carve out a career in movies?
Well, I'd like to play in both playgrounds, I think. You couldn't do justice to a show like Prison Break in a feature film. You couldn't squeeze all that into 2 hours. I couldn't do justice to my character in a 2-hour movie. There's something about knowing that we're going to be playing in this particular universe long term that allows for subtle gradations of character and development that you'd have to shorthand in a feature film. At the same time, you can curse in movies and you can do 1,001 things that we can't do as a network show on at 8 o'clock every Monday night. There's I think, a different kind of freedom to be had in the world of feature film. Not a greater freedom, just a different kind. And it's something I'd like to sample more thoroughly.
Are you shooting anything during your hiatus?
Well, we've still got another 8 episodes of the show to go second season, so that's where my focus is. But what I'm looking for specifically is a smaller project where it's all about relationships. There's no guns or stunts or government conspiracies. And what would be great is if I got the chance to do maybe 2 or 3 scenes with a Glenn Close or a Denzel Washington or a Ben Kingsley. Just something where I could come in and kind of apprentice myself to a veteran.
No doubt your newfound stardom has led to many changes in your life. Can you describe some of those changes, both positive and negative, and the adjustments you've had to make in becoming a star?
It always surprises people when I tell them that the only real definitive change in my life, as far as who I am now or where I am now and where I was before, is I get a lot of people asking me, what's it like now? What's it like to be a sex symbol? Or however they want to spin the question. I've worked very hard to change as little as possible. I worked for a long time to achieve some kind of success for myself. I made certain sacrifices along the way. And I think I'm at a certain age where just because I can now go to the right clubs and hang out with the right people, it's not as tempting as it may have been when I was 10 years younger. I do run into fans all the time. TV is a very powerful medium. It doesn't feel like I'm no longer anonymous. It just feels like I'm running into extended family wherever I go. And they know you and they don't know you. I was at the mall the other week, and this kid, who must have been 14 or 15, comes up to me, hyperventilating. He's so excited to see me. And he's a big fan of the show and a big fan of me, and he's got posters and knickknacks, and I don't know where he's getting all this stuff. But he calls his mom on the cell phone because his mom's at the other end of the mall, but she has the camera, so we have to wait there while she, makes her way down from Foot Locker or whatever to take this picture. So he calls her, and he's breathing hard. He's like, "Oh my God, Mom, it's the guy from Prison Break. It's Worthington." It's like, so close. And it was sweet, and it's endearing, and I think it's indicative of this strange relationship between actors on TV and people who watch their shows, because if you're Jennifer Aniston or David Schwimmer, people have been watching you at Central Perk every Thursday night at 8 o'clock for years, so they know your face. They're invested in you in a way that they are probably not invested in members of their own family, but at the same time they really have no idea who these people are behind closed doors.
Was there a defining moment where you realized you'd made it, like driving down Sunset and seeing a billboard for Prison Break or something? Was there?
There have been 1,000 small moments, but one of those moments that really hit home was when I drove out to Chicago from LA to start the first season. I was pulled over for speeding in Utah. I was going 5 miles over the speed limit, and I got a ticket. And then I was pulled over for speeding coming back from first season when the show had been on the air for X number of months, this time in Idaho. And unbelievable as it may sound, I was also only going 5 miles over the speed limit. And I was pulled over, and the guy's taking my license and registration, and he's asking me where I'm coming from, what's my hurry, why is all this luggage in the back seat. And he honestly had to drag the information out of me, but eventually I admitted that I was on a show called Prison Break, and I was going home after shooting the first season. Turns out his wife's a big fan, and guess who got off with a warning? I swear I didn't play that card. But it was or seemed to be a mark of how far I'd come in terms of kind of a larger recognition than I was used to.
Either that or they're just more forgiving in Idaho than